Hi there, Cyril Shakopoulos from Rescue Dynamics here again. This video is geared towards Canadian Forces search and rescue technicians and is an example of one of the enabling objectives checks required for team members as part of their mountain phase training. It is contingent upon the person conducting the rescue to have the standard SARTECH personal kit, which includes a set of Purcell prusiks, a descent control or rappel device, and an assortment of carabiners. Although the rescue doesn't require a lot, the one thing it really requires is practice, as the skills demonstrated are perishable. Failing to conduct the operation properly could result in damage to equipment, serious injury, or even death to both climbers. Diligent practice under supervision is necessary to attain proficiency before attempting this maneuver in the wild. Okay, here we go. Let's start by looking at the various steps on paper. Then we'll transition to watching a video demonstration done by Mountain Guide Adam Burrell and CIFSAR SARTECH instructor Sergeant Jeff Connors. And the presentation or video will end with another paper discussion of the steps that need to be considered at the completion of the first evolution. Obviously, the scenario starts with someone out lead climbing and they take a lead fall. At this point, obviously, you have to arrest the lead climber's fall, and then the next possibly obvious step is to communicate with the leader who's fallen and try to assess the situation. Now remember that it might be difficult or impossible to communicate depending upon how far out the person is. Some of the things you need to think about: what are the nature of the injuries? Can the leader be lowered back down to the belay ledge where you are? If that's the case, the rescue could be extremely simple, especially in the first stages. The third thing you have to think about is how solid is the protection above the leader. Now, a lot of people are worried about this. They think that somehow the protection is going to fail, just like you see in one of the climbing movies that was out there. But remember that the gear above the leader has been proof tested by a lead fall. When you execute the lead climb rescue maneuver, the load that you're going to place on the upper protection is probably 2 kilonewtons or maybe slightly more. Typical lead falls are going to impact that upper protection with 4 to 7 kilonewtons or perhaps more in a really dramatic fall. Now, the other thing you have to think about: has the rope been damaged or cut? Is self-extrication really the best option, or should you just stand your ground and call for external resources as a better or safer option? If self-evacuation is your best next option, consider lowering the climber as far as you possibly can before you initiate an ascent to rescue the leader. That will actually reduce the distance that you have to travel in a counterbalance style. For the scenario we are demonstrating, the leader is beyond halfway on the rope, so lowering to the belay is actually not possible. Once you have arrested the lead climber's fall, communicated, assessed the situation, decided that self-evacuation is your best option, you'll need to tie off the belay device and make sure that the entire situation is secure. That will be followed by attaching your Purcell prusiks above the belay device, using only one long and one medium Purcell in a specific way that facilitates getting off the ascending system and transitioning to a rappel. You need to secure the rope below the belay device with a clove hitch or a catastrophe knot attached to your harness. You need to apply your weight to the prusiks and remove the belay device. The rescuer then ascends the rope, maintaining counterbalance with the injured climber, making sure not to unweight the rope or the climber continues to fall more. As the rescuer is ascending, they collect and secure any of the intermediate protection pieces that the leader has placed during the ascent. Once you get to the fallen leader, you need to attach a Purcell prusik to the rope above the leader with a 3-wrap prusik hitch, and typically you would use the injured leader's prusik if available. You clip the foot loop into the rescuer's belay rappel loop. This basically closes the loop and makes it so that the two of you will end up descending in unison. The rescuer installs their descent control or rappel device on an extension. The extension can be a frost nut that's already on a Purcell prusik or a separate sling if you're running short of gear. You do need to install a backup safety such as a prusik or auto block below the descent control device, and then you'll remove your own or the rescuer's Purcell prusiks. You need to position the fallen climber, the fallen lead climber, and then conduct a counterbalance rappel to the nearest suitable anchor location. This may mean abandoning some protection that is above you. That is not a big problem. Now, without any further talking, we'll proceed directly to the demo by Adam and Jeff. This will be followed by a summary of the next steps if you're still on technical terrain.
Okay, so I've caught you. Okay, how's it going? Are you okay?
No, I'm hurt. I can't climb on.
Oh shit. Okay, so I'm gonna have to climb up, rescue, figure out an anchor. As I climb up, I'm gonna take out your pieces on the way up that you put in, because I might need those for the anchor. We also don't want the rope through those pieces as well, right? I'm gonna have to climb through them. So the first thing I want to do is move into the rock and keep you nice and tight. So I'm gonna tighten up the system. Okay, where I'm right in nice and close to the rock. Okay, the next thing I want to do is tie this off. So I'm going to put my hand on the top here just to hold it for security. I'm going to feed this part of the rope through, okay, through the carabiner, and it's going to come straight up top like that. Okay, I need to take this part of the rope, hold it down, and then push through. Okay, that's called a slippery overhand or a slip knot. Okay, that's the first part. Next, I'm going to tie just an overhand. Okay, so that's tied off. My next stage is to back it up. So clove hitch. Just attached. There we go. So I'm tied off. I'm backed up, and I can go hands-free. I'm going to start with a medium up high. I'm going to have a long down here. And sometimes it's easier to put the long on first. It stays down here, and then the medium. So standard 3-wrap prusik. Okay. That's going to be my foot loop. My medium Purcell is going to be for my waist. I'm going to have this guy, it's going to go above. I don't want to go in here or it's going to get trapped. So I want to go above in that position. And I want to have this as short as I can. Nice and short. nice and short. There we go. So when I lean back on that, most of my weight should be onto it. Okay, and I can get this foot loop ready to stand in as well. Okay, as I transfer my weight, I want to maintain always weight on this part of the rope. If I don't have weight on there, you're going to come down. So I always want to have some sort of weight on there. As I get my weight onto here, this becomes slack, so now I can take this system out. Don't need it anymore. To tighten that guy up. There we go. Nice and snug. And I'm going to maintain this on my way up. This is my backup, my protection. Okay, so my weight's here. Move my foot up. Reach up. Maintaining weight on the. How's it going, Jeff?
Still hurt.
Still hurt. Okay. You have a Purcell press-up on you? A medium one? Okay. So I'm going to come up until where I'm about shoulder height with you. That seems to work for me pretty well. Okay. I want to make sure I suck this up. Okay, it's nice like that. We're going to take your medium Purcell and we're going to wrap it onto your rope here. To whack you in the face. Yeah. So that's your medium there, and that's going to come to me. And the reason for that is that closes the whole loop of the system, so neither of us can go flying off the end of the rope. Cool. I'm going to position that to wherever it sort of makes sense for me. I want to be below you if I can. That usually for me is a better way to go. But if I did want to have you above me, okay, that's pretty easy to do. I can just stand up, and if I want to get you lower, I lift my weight and I just pull down. So it's really easy to get you below me if I wanted you there. If I want to get below you, the only way for me to do that is to rappel. So I need to install my rappel device now. And I want to do that with my extension, which is my foot lift. Still backed up. I'm on this prusik, so I can remove this guy here. And this is what I'm going to rappel off. My extension will be off of the prusik. Up. So we come through the two tying points. This goes in here. Okay, so that's extended out. Put it into this guy. Okay, and one thing I need before I totally rappel is I need a backup on here as well. Right? Okay, so I'm just going to take this, and I can either clip that onto the rope or back to my rappel device. Get it out of the way. I'm going to take my my personal prusik. throw it on below my belay rappel device so I have the backup. Because I'm going to take this backup out as I rappel at some stage here. And steal a locking carabiner from you. Again. Let's do that there. Okay, make sure the length is good. That's not going to get sucked into there. Cool, so I'm about ready to get as much slack out of there as I can. Tighten that. See that okay, Cyril? So that's snug like that. Okay, and now all my weight is on here, so I need to transfer it to here. So it's a load transfer. And this Purcell Prusik makes that really easy to do. All I do is pull on that, and it transfers my load onto this device. That's good. So now all my weight's here, so I can remove this guy. Now I've got this guy attached, and I'm still backed up, so I can remove this Prusik. I just want to get myself into position here. So I might give myself a little bit of slack. Back up. So I can rappel into position. So I just need to break that. And I want to see whereabouts. So I want to be, I think, a little bit lower. Extend that out. Pull down a little further. Okay, that's going to press against you a little bit there. Okay, that seems like a pretty good position for me. Okay, so I'm in the right position here. I'm comfortable to lay you down. You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, so last thing I want to do, I'm not going to be able to get too far if I don't take this out. So I'm going to take out the blowfish back up there and be ready to rappel down. And we will come down together kind of slow because we're going about half speed here. How's that work for you? All good?
Yeah.
Okay. Just watch your step down here. There's a little bit of a overhang. I'm just going to try to keep leaning back so that you can actually get
In this demonstration, obviously our two climbers have reached the ground. However, in a real life scenario, you'll have to make some decisions with regard to what to do next if you're still on technical terrain. On the SARTECH Team Member EC check, the team member under training will have to discuss the next steps that they might have to take if they're still on technical terrain. For example, they may have to build a new rappel anchor. They'll have to secure the climber to that anchor via the Purcell Prusik that's already on their rope from the rescue evolution. The rescuer will have to rappel or lower until the injured climber is now secure on the new anchor, and the rescuer then secures themselves. If first aid needs to be done at this point, any additional treatments that weren't done while hanging on the rope could now be done. And the rope, obviously, is going to have to be retrieved from above, pulling it through all the protection pieces that were left in place. You'll need to discuss considering how to proceed and create a plan. Do you want to continue to self-evacuate? Are you going to lower your partner? Are you going to do a tandem rappel, another counterbalance rappel? Is there some other option that you can consider? Or is it better for you to shelter in place and request additional assistance from some external agency? That is the end of the evaluation for the SARTECH team members on rescuing the lead climber. Thanks for watching.